Hey, Dan Passarelli. Welcome to another fine week of trading and kicking it off pretty strong. Today we are indeed. The S&P 500, as measured by the Spiders, SPY, is up 3.3% on the close, closing at 582.99. Big gap today. Of course, that gap comes on the news that the tariffs between the U.S. and China will be significantly lowered for 90 days. U.S. lowering ours on China to 30%, China lowering theirs to 10%, and, there's always a whole bunch of other details. Now, what do we make of this? Well, let's back up a little bit, shall we? Let's back up a little over a month ago, starting on April 3rd, when tariffs went into effect, and then, of course, unwent into effect, and we had sort of this drama playing out. For those of you who watch my videos regularly, which I hope you do, I make these for you, I said back in this spot that this is a temporary thing. It's an excellent buying opportunity, but I also pointed out that the market could certainly have gone lower from there, and even after it's come back up, could go lower again. There's still a lot of details to be worked out. A couple of those details are what's inflation going to look like, and we're going to get a peek of that tomorrow when CPI comes out and Thursday when PPI comes out, because if inflation doesn't continue going back towards the 2% target, sure doesn't seem like rates are going to be cut anytime soon. Now, another one of the things that can affect that a little longer term, it won't go into effect now, but how are supply lines going to be changed as a result of this sort of new world order when it comes to the new financial structure that includes a whole different paradigm of tariffs? Well, the supply chains are going to be very, very much affected, and each company has to figure that out on their own, and the companies aren't going to know what to do with that until the tariffs are in. So there's a whole bunch of details that is coming in the future that could put downward pressure on the market or could put upward pressure on the market. So here's the question. Was this the big fake out down here, totally oversold and feared in the market? Or is today the big fake out to the upside and it's totally overbought and we're going to come down and fill this gap? Well, obviously that remains to be seen, and I talked about this in some previous videos, when you go up to the live news here and look at some of the news, here's what you get. You get a lot of, if it bleeds, it leads, and the opposite side of that, the overzealousness. And we as traders and as investors and as level-headed people in general, we want to ignore that. There's a thing in music where when notes are too low, you don't want people to hear them because it's kind of muddy and messy, and so they put what's called a low-pass filter on it. Just the notes that are so low, the dials or whatever, the machines just kind of cut it out. And then there's high-pass filters too. The notes are too high, we cut those out too. That's what we want to do in our chart reading. Use a low-pass and a high-pass filter. Anytime we're seeing news that's just so end of the world, we ignore it. When it's just so rosy, we ignore it. In the middle lies the truth, and, that story is playing out. That truth is still coming out. So I'm definitely not saying ignore this move, that it's overdone to the upside, because it may very well not be, but we want to keep our level heads and not get too overzealous and plan our trades with very cautious risk management, bullish or bearish. Hope that helps. This is Dan Passarelli. Trade smart.